Hello, Steve White, Trek Boy 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, tiny little bit of Star Trek news. Probably the main thing, I guess, that's actual relevant because it's content is the Center Seat, which I thought was a documentary about Star Trek. Apparently, it's a documentary series. I thought I'd seen it, but maybe I'm getting confused. Has been released online. I think it's on StarTrek.com or one of the websites. I'm not sure it's on YouTube. I don't even know where it is. Apparently, it's free online. I thought, well, that's cool. I didn't actually look to see where it was, but that's been released. And Brannon Braga came out and made a big statement about how, well, they should be making more episodes of Star Trek. And I'm like, do you not, okay. I'm like, do you not understand how streaming works? Streaming works on the idea of people have no attention span and can basically binge a show for about a day, which really means 4 to 6 to 8, maybe 10 episodes at the most, because that's like a day of binging. And they sort of don't want more than that. If it's more than that, it's not bingeable. They can't sort of watch it in one day and then make a post about it. So the idea of having, real TV series again sort of is kind of weird if you're dealing with a streamer. Like, Paramount Plus is sort of making Star Trek, so they're like a streaming, they're not a network, like a TV network. So the only place that's still producing TV shows like 20 episodes a year or something, or 24 episodes a year for network TV, because they have to have a new episode every week, and that's the format. Star Trek isn't on network television and hasn't been for a long time. Last time it was Voyager and Enterprise, and even then before that, Star Trek Next Generation, Deep Space Nine were syndicated, where they did release an episode each week for those markets, but it was sort of getting closer to the idea of streaming. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people were arguing, well, they can't because the budgets are too much. I'm like, well, no, the budgets are overblown. That is based on a for-profit sort of format where the people making the show for Paramount make money. So obviously, the money they're paying out isn't just covering the production costs, it's also covering the profit margin for a whole nother studio. So cut out the middleman, produce it directly, and you could make the show for $3 million. People were saying, well, they made The Expanse for $3 million an episode, and it's like, well, they could easily do Star Trek for that, because really Star Trek's just a lot of talking about philosophy and ideas. That's what it's supposed to be, and you can do that on sets. You don't really need much more than the Enterprise bridge and maybe an alien planet every other episode. And frankly, that's what they did on Discovery and Strange New Worlds. It's mostly just them talking on sets. They've got the volume, which looks fake, but that doesn't cost a lot of money. So they're really just exploiting Star Trek for money, and they're the middleman profiting. And if they cut them out, they'd be much better off. So that would mean they could, in theory, if they're paying $10 million an episode and they can cut it down to $3 million or $4 million, then they can do 20 episodes a year in theory, budget wise. And this whole idea that, we take more time to create, better stories is obviously not true, because their stories are okay to bad. So it's not like that format actually naturally generates, more creativity or better quality. So that's not a reason either. So I just sort of kind of got sucked into the whole idea of what if they come back with, 20 episode seasons of Star Trek and really give people, something to look forward to and spend time with. If they release, instead of having 5 shows on, because Kurtzman's idea was, let's have 5 totally different shows catering for all the different elements of all the different audiences, and we'll have like a different show every week, because we'll have 5 shows running with 10 episodes a year. So basically, every week of the year there'll be a Star Trek show. That's kind of what a season of Star Trek was. You had 26 episodes, so at least half, the year you had a new episode every week. And when you had Deep Space Nine and Voyager going, they actually overlapped, didn't they? I'm not sure if they ever had shows go end to end. I think they were overlapping week to week. I can't remember, because I didn't watch them on network TV in America or Australia. I watched them mostly on video, because that was how we got our Star Trek. There'd be a new release every month of a Star Trek episode, a video of 2 episodes. That would sort of do us for the year, and everyone would go out and have their videos on reserve. But yeah, I'm just waffling now. But yeah, so not a lot of news, but it was an interesting talking point that Brannon Braga, who is still working in TV, is saying there's no reason why they can't do more episodes, and that would allow for random, weird, genre-bending episodes, which unfortunately are the majority of episodes of season 3, which does not work. And that's about it for news. The only other news was Marina Sirtis apparently said that there's like no chance of another Next Generation reunion, which is fine because they gave them a farewell. What would they need to do another reunion for? But obviously people want that for a new series. And it's like, well, we can't just, feast on nostalgia forever. We do actually have to create new Star Trek, as long as it's in the vein of original Star Trek and in the same universe. It'll work. So let's see what happens. But just had to ponder on those couple of things, and I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of more Trek on TV, actual long seasons returning to what we used to have.